Hello everybody and welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to be speaking about Ethereum having that huge candle that is very bullish. If you haven't already, do subscribe, drop a comment, and hammer on that like button. So let's get started. Now that candle that we're speaking about here in Ethereum is this one right here. You can see it looks very good. And you can see that it's actually bumped up a lot, and we have a little bit of resistance for today. Here we have this, not resistance, but we have this kind of bleeding out, so not so hot exactly for the day. Now this is the daily look here. Pretty great. When we look at everything here with Ethereum, it has just been doing fantastic. When we're seeing, we had that little scare, that bleeding out candle here about a couple of days ago. Not so hot. It did look pretty bad because here in just a few days it started to move sideways a little bit. After that big pump coming up at the beginning of October. So it is looking like it can actually break out and continue higher from what I see. But this is that beautiful candle right here, and you can see it's completely wonderful. Let's take a look for the weekly here on Ethereum as well. So Ethereum is looking very great. Looking at the weekly, you can see nothing but beautiful green candles. So it's doing fantastic. It's doing a wonderful job. As you can see, looks like it's going to continue higher in my eyes. We can continue. Even so, like the last really big jump we've had like this was back here in May, or April, in May, which really done good. So it's kind of like breaking that new higher high. As you can see, when we're speaking about here, we did have that fall. So that high was about right here. So we've already broke past that, which looks pretty good. As you can see, so we've had that as well. So it looks pretty great, and not too much when we're looking at the weekly. All right. So even speaking about the support line that we're speaking about, this support line here, it did have that fantastic bounce, which is really great news. And this is what we're speaking about. So when we're speaking about that bounce off support, this is it right here. And you can see it's been just completely going up, and I would expect it to actually break around 4,500 or so, 4,600. I would expect pretty soon, within the next couple of days. So we're going to keep a close eye here, but it's some great news. And looking at the rest of the market as well, and we'll do so here shortly. You're going to see this. Honestly, a fantastic time to be in crypto. So let's take a look at the other markets, and then we're going to come back and we're going to look at Bitcoin as well. So looking at the market here at Ethereum, let's see, for the last day is like 1.13% and 8 for the weekly. Fantastic, beautiful job. Wonderful. Of course, Bitcoin here too, which we're going to see just after this, is up for the day for 1.83% and up 1.35%. Still doing pretty great. Cardano, we did in the last video about Cardano looking very bad. The weekly, it is minus 7.12%. For the last day, it is actually up only 0.65%. Not too hot. Solana we have at 0.40% for the daily and 0.93% for the week. XRP doing fantastic. It looks very great at 4.04 and 0.91 for the day. So looking pretty good. We also have, Polygon is at a minus 286 for the 24-hour period and a whopping 27.69 for the week. Doing perfect. Looks really great. So we'll definitely keep an eye on those as well. Axel Infinity as well is doing up 0.14%, 14.16%, excuse me, for the week. Still doing fantastic as well. But definitely keep an eye on these two coins. So between Axel and Axel as well, we'll keep that close eye on those. All right, so let's speak about Bitcoin. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin for the moment. Let's see, Bitcoin. This is looking at the daily. The daily, you can see Bitcoin is actually kind of hanging in there. It's moving a little bit sideways as well. We had that low back here, which had everybody worried, kind of panicking. And now it kind of started to move sideways again, coming back from October. We have that. So we'll definitely keep an eye on there. So looking at it. But Bitcoin's not doing too bad. Looking for the weekly, let's see, Bitcoin did fantastic. So when we're speaking about the day, we can't say so much, but we do we do see overall that in the week it is doing fantastic with that bleeding out candle here in October the 18th. Last week here, it wasn't looking so great. It looks like everybody was really kind of panicking that it was going to fall, but I still expect it to fall about 42,000. So if it doesn't, it's kind of hard to call right now because it is doing pretty good. So it is starting to look over that higher high that we had. Let's see, back here in March as well. So it is doing higher. So we do have a new higher high, but we need to keep an eye on it. Still too close to call. As long as it keeps going in the pattern that it's going and it doesn't fall, I think it should do great. The only thing that has me a little worried is the same pattern back in January. We kind of seen that it kind of came up. If you see this right here, back in February or so, we had the same kind of pattern. Not so bad where it actually plummeted, but we had that bounce back as well. But then it kind of got sideways for a little bit, and then it just kind of just dropped off the cliff, right? And then sideways, and then up came up, and then of course this is where we are now, right? But for me, the pattern kind of shows a little bit of the same coming here. So like green candle, red candle, green candle, red candle, right? So it could potentially be bullish, but honestly, I'm going to call and say, we can have some problems here. So everybody's kind of holding up. Everybody's getting excited. They're getting really pumped up for Bitcoin at the moment. Looking at Cardano. Cardano is just sad. When we're looking at Cardano, we had this like huge long time of it just actually just kind of hanging in. Just hanging in and just completely moving nowhere. Just completely, utterly boring. Completely put me to sleep. Unfortunately, nobody was really making any profits here. The only thing I think people really gained here from Cardano is honestly stress levels and cortisol. That's about it. Unfortunately, you can see when we're looking at the week or the daily, and this is what the daily looks like. It's just horrible. All here through October is just completely catastrophic. Here in September, you can see like we had this huge drop too, and kind of come back and it's bouncing around as well. We had this line of support here, and actually broke down past that now. So it's even worse when we're looking at the two. So this kind of got me on toes. Not so much because I was kind of expecting it. It's barely breaking $2. So it's kind of at that situation where everybody is going to either jump ship, and it looks like people are just going to lose money with Cardano. Is how it is. This is the daily. Taking a look at the weekly. We have the weekly, which is just sad as well. Nothing but red. We have the 25th of October, right? The 11th, just nothing but bleeding out, just dying. If it's an animal, it's screaming for help at this point. You can see, I wouldn't expect it to really be too much big. We were hoping, of course, right here, which we're kind of sitting on our seats here at the ending of September, like, oh man, okay, maybe it can, bounce up, it'll bounce up and go to $3, $4, right? It looks like it can go big because we had that high coming here in August, that really big high. We had it, like, oh, $3, okay, great, and then it just started to die. It got wounded, guys. And that's where we're sitting right now with Cardano. So I wouldn't expect too much because that's bleeding. I mean, just completely just catastrophic nightmare. So we'll keep an eye on that and see how it does. But I don't think anything's going to be done for quite some time, for a long time actually. So if we're lucky enough, maybe it will continue to bounce off this new line of support that we have. Maybe it'll do that. It'll keep going sideways a little bit, but I wouldn't expect to actually flip that anytime soon. So we will keep an eye on that. All right. All right. So guys, that is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed. Do subscribe, drop a comment below, and I will see you on our next video.